I'm on all these forums, right?
Right.
The Facebooks and the Instagrams and all this about how awful,
Right.
these large companies are, and they want you to do it for free. And
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them do, and I'm sure even the ones that we work for do.
Yep.
But when you build a relationship in any of the service industries that we're in, I mean, it's a give and take.
Right.
We love working for who we work for. We've got a good relationship. We've built it over time.
Right.
And if they ask us to do something, we do it. And if I
Right.
need something from them, they typically give it to us. So,
Right.
there's a lot of that negativity that I think holds a lot of that snow back and doing national accounts for maintenance and anything that hurts a lot.
Well, hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the Land It podcast. I'm your host, Josh Stockel, and today I've got Dave Jacobus, owner of HLC Site Services, joining me on the show. Dave's company handles everything from land clearing and grading to full-scale site development. We're going to dig into how he built his business, what keeps projects running smoothly, and some of the biggest lessons he's learned in the industry. So let's jump in. Dave, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being on the show.
Josh, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is great.
What year did you start your company, and like just what made you decide to get into this industry?
Oh gosh. So I've been doing this close to 20 years now.
20 years, nice.
We have kind of changed focus over the years, I think, as a lot, do.
Hmm.
And we've really kind of dug into the clearing and moving dirt, drainage, that type piece from where we started years ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, we've been doing it a while.
What was the first job like that you were like, you know what, this is the way I want to go? Like, I really want to get this business up and running.
So I started cutting grass in high school.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Lawn
Like
guy,
I think
yeah,
a lot of people did, right? And they
yeah.
started in the landscape side of it, and they started cutting grass in high school, and then
Hmm.
branched out and started
Hmm.
adding to it. I did not go to college back then, right when I graduated, and there was a time when I was still a senior in high school that I had four or
Okay.
five guys working for me when I
Okay.
was a senior in high school. Graduated high school, and then kind of dove right in.
Okay. So you started hiring guys, even doing lawn care in high school. So I guess
Yeah.
leadership was something that you just felt like naturally gifted at.
Yeah, leadership and sales, I think
Mhm.
probably are two things
Yeah.
that right, always kind of came
Mhm.
easy. And even still to this day, the operational side of things is probably what keeps me going the most and
Yeah.
interests me the most.
Yeah.
Operations and sales, than really anything else. That's
Right.
my favorite thing to
Right.
do.
That we're actually in line. That's me too. I love the sales and the operations part. What's funny is I used to do a lot of leadership stuff. I worked in government. I did a couple of different things before this, and I kept coming back to the same thing over and over again. Like, I loved building teams, and I
Hmm.
loved like talking about the thing that we were doing. So the sales part started to grow me, but even early on when I first started to actually do sales, I hated sales. I did not want to
Really?
do that. It was awkward. I was like, this is weird. But then it was like you get that first sale, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, okay." You get that
Right.
like bug. You're like, "Oh,
Yep.
that was good. I love that. Let's do more of that."
And you still get it now. You still get
Oh
it
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
Um, the longer I think everybody kind of stays in it, and that dollar number needs to be a little bit more to be able
Yeah.
to get you
Yeah.
right a little bit more
Yeah.
excited. But I still love the sales piece of it.
Yeah. It's probably I'm still handling sales here at our agency, and it's like the last thing I want to hand off. I keep telling my
Right.
team, I'm like, I just love it. It's not because I'm scared to hand it off. It's because I really enjoy doing it every day. So
Right.
I just don't
Sure.
want to be quick to hand that off to somebody else. But
Yeah.
so one of the things I was looking at is you guys have launched a brand new website. Looks really good. And one of my favorite things I saw on your website was the team photo. I always love when guys do the team photo stuff. I think that's so
Yeah.
cool, like a big aerial shot down at your whole crew around the machines and the trucks.
So
How many guys do you have?
we're small. We've got 20 guys.
Okay.
And it's hard to get all those guys together, right? You
I
can
bet.
always make it happen.
It's like
But
herding
then
cats.
when you figure out a way to make it happen, then all you think about in the back of your mind is how much is this costing me, right? I'm
Oh,
bringing guys
yeah.
in from
Yep.
different spots. And so we just got really lucky. We had a job that was close to where we're all out of, and it was a Friday, and we had a big push to finish. And
Mhm.
I brought everybody to one job, which is not normal for
Mhm.
us. And I'm like, man, this is a spot where we've got to do it. So that's the only reason that we got a team picture.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but like that was, that the
Yeah.
reason was it was easy.
Yeah.
And every time you think about doing it, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
travel a good bit. So
Okay.
we cover a couple states.
Okay.
We're always in North Carolina. We're out of Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm actually right now. I've got a little apartment in Raleigh, and that's where I am tonight. And
Yeah.
we always have a crew in Raleigh. We always have a crew in Charlotte, and then we're kind of spread out from there. So
Wow.
um, doing that type thing is always a
Yeah.
challenge. So it was fun to do, and it was cool to
Yeah.
see.
It is neat, yeah. And being in different locations, you're obviously doing different types of jobs. Like, just unpack it for us. Like, what are the different services that you guys offer? What are your favorite services like that y'all? Because everybody does. A lot of companies doing multiple services, but come to find that there's like this one or two that's like their bread and butter that they really love doing. What is that for
So
you guys?
yeah, and I had a feeling you were going to ask that question, and I was going to have to kind of dive into it. And I started thinking about all the things that we do.
Mhm.
Um, there are a lot of people that say when you're growing a company, you need to be really kind of single focused and do one thing
Sure.
and do one thing really good. And I hope that we do multiple things good because
Yeah.
we do a bunch of different things, right? So we kind of break it out into crews. Prior to kind of the last couple years when we really started to focus on the site work, we were heavy landscape,
Mhm.
uh, heavy irrigation, heavy wall work, retaining walls and drainage. So I really wanted to get into site work. So I've got one crew that specifically just does site work.
Mhm.
I've got one crew that specifically does stone work. We'll do a lot of retaining walls. We do a lot of CMU block walls with, either synthetic or real stone on the front of it. So a masonry crew.
Okay.
I've got one crew that we kind of call it like a scope gap type crew where something's missing on a job, right? This
Okay.
crew has like a little Lowe's or Home Depot driving around in their truck with them.
Gotcha.
They do fences. They do.
Okay.
We've got some areas where we can't pour concrete over the top of tree roots in
Wow.
for municipalities, right? So we
Yeah.
have to build boardwalks. So these guys will build boardwalks. They'll do. We just did a job where we had to redo a whole lake front with riprap and
Okay.
regrade and all that. And
Yeah.
the decking on the dock was failing, right? So they
Okay.
replaced all the decking on it. Um, they're putting bollards in around new light poles that were installed on a 5-acre gravel parking lot that we put in,
Wow.
right? So a little bit of just everything this crew does. And then I've got another crew that really just kind of focuses on drainage. We do a
Okay.
good bit of drainage. Okay. So just 4 crews that, kind of spread out, do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Rarely do we all come together,
Yeah.
but when we do, it's fun. They all have, obviously, right? You're
Yeah.
in this industry. They all know how to do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Some are just a little bit more specialized
Right.
and faster
Yeah.
and more organized to do. Not everybody can run a
Yeah.
dozer and an excavator and all that,
Yeah.
right? So we kind of break it down for that.
That makes sense.
So we travel around for that. And then come wintertime, as crazy as it sounds, being in Charlotte, North Carolina, we do a lot of snow work.
Oh, do you? Okay.
We do. So we've got a good bit of snow work.
Okay.
We have one large national company that we work for that we have contracts with in North
Okay.
Carolina. And then we will travel because obviously we don't get a lot of snow in North Carolina, right? So
Mhm.
when we do, it's great. We
Yeah.
love it. It's the most profitable work we can do all year long. But we travel a good bit. So we've
Okay.
got a company that'll call and say, hey, we've got a failure in New Jersey, or we've got a failure in, we went to New Orleans last year, right? New
Yeah.
Orleans got 10 inches of snow, remember?
Yeah.
And they called and said, how many trucks can you send to New Orleans? We
Oh,
sent
cool.
5 trucks to New Orleans, right? So we'll do that a lot. And it typically works out well because when it snows, whether it snows in North Carolina or not, we usually get rain.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
crews, if we're traveling, right, those crews typically don't have a job to do, or we can't work in January when it's cold and wet or something. So
Yeah,
we'll
for sure.
send them wherever we need to send them. We've done this for years for the snow and absolutely love it. It's
That's
kind of one of
cool.
those weird deals that we do, but everybody's good at it. Every truck's got a plow. Every truck's got a
Okay.
spreader.
That's what I was gonna
We'll,
ask. And,
right,
and if you're doing in North Carolina, I assume, you guys are a little bit colder than us here in Texas. You've got some seasons where, yeah, there's some other places calling you guys for that snow work, but you're still probably doing some projects here. How do you keep balancing the 2?
well, I mean, the goal is to be able to kind of sneak away and keep maybe a couple guys to keep going on a project in
Mhm.
January or February. But I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that we've got relationships typically with everybody that we work for in North Carolina,
Okay.
and we've got a schedule. And I mean, if snow calls, we'll
Yeah.
have that conversation and say, hey, listen, I need to pull off for a couple days. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's wet and cold and rainy,
Yeah.
and we go do our snow work.
Yeah. So
So
that that let's talk about snow for a little bit because I it's one of the biggest questions that comes up with a lot of our clients and guys that are especially guys that are way up north and they're dealing with
right.
snow. They go through a winter season where some guys just shut down for 3 months. I mean,
Oh yeah,
there's no
yeah.
work for them or they have to do snow, right? So how did you get into the snow? How do you get those jobs now? Because you're saying guys from other states are calling you. Is that how do you pick that up? How do you get into that?
We have a couple national companies that we work for.
Okay.
One in particular, we've got the majority of all of our work with,
Okay.
and that's where our work comes from. So, um, there's a lot of in the industry. There's a lot of bad kind of press, whatever you want to call it, right, on these larger national companies, whether
Sure.
it's for snow or for landscape or for maintenance or anything. How cheap they are, and you can't work for them, you can't do that. And we haven't had that problem.
Yeah.
We've had a long-term relationship with them. I think this is probably
Great.
going to be our 10th or 11th season.
Wow.
They've always been fair to us. We've been fair to them. Like I said, we've got 300 plus contracts in North Carolina,
Okay.
but we'll travel. If they call and say, "Hey, I need you to go to wherever," I mean, we'll go up into DC. We'll go into the Mid Atlantic. We'll go up into the Northeast. Rarely do we get your way out into Texas,
Yeah.
right? But
You
last
just don't
year
have
was
all
an anomaly,
that. Yeah.
right? I mean,
Well, it was like
we
2,
were in
3 years
Arkansas.
ago. Yeah, 2, 3 years ago, we had snowpocalypse is what we call it. We had, like, a
Yeah.
foot of snow throughout Central Texas, and, like, HEB, our grocery store, about shut down the whole
Mhm.
I was out towing people with my Tundra just because people didn't know how to drive, they kept pulling
Yeah.
off the side of the road, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see where it was like they kept saying all the time that we just don't have anybody with a plow anywhere near here. It was gonna be like a 10-hour drive.
And, what we'll go and do, and these are larger sites,
Mhm.
that need to stay open, 24-hour type places.
Okay.
But, they, like you're saying, I mean, we've been to Oklahoma. We've been
Yeah.
all around down there because there's not a lot of
Yeah.
people don't do it. And I
Yeah.
understand why. I mean, we're dumb enough to have the amount of equipment we have in North Carolina. And
Yeah.
last year we had a really good season.
Mhm.
But before that, we hadn't pushed snow in North Carolina in almost 4 years,
Wow.
So we've
Yeah.
got to travel.
Yeah. Makes
We
sense.
I feel like we have to travel to be able to make money at it, right?
Yeah.
I've got all the equipment. We've
Right.
got these contracts that if it does snow, we have to be prepared for.
Right.
So we need all the ice melt, right? We need the
Right.
brine. We need
Get
all
it
the
all prepped
material
and
that we
ready.
need. And if and I'm sitting on it, so I want
Right.
to go somewhere to make money. And
Right.
it
So these are
guys,
private contracts, they're not civil, right?
no
Or
civil.
do you have
We
a
don't do
mix?
any.
Okay.
Yep, nope. We don't do
Private.
any road work. We don't do any civil contracts. None of that.
Okay.
So no airports. No, it's industrial. It's,
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
shopping centers. It's grocery
Yeah,
stores. It's Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart's,
yeah,
those type
yeah.
places.
Like you said, places they're like, hey, it's winter, but we need to stay open. We need all the snow out of here,
Correct.
so people are coming and
Right.
working or buying.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense. And that is neat that you've gotta pile that stuff up, prep it, have it ready to go, and come with, even though you're like, it may not even be in our own backyard, but just because of these contracts, we may be going in different directions. But the likelihood, because you've got contracts all over the US, is that it's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna be doing snow work this year,
It,
right?
it, it will. It will. It typically does, right? But even in North Carolina, we've got to be ready for a storm. So
True,
we've
true.
got sites that we've got to get. We'll have 10, 12, 15 skid steers dropped off at a
Mhm.
site that are large throughout. And if it
Right.
doesn't snow, then we're just paying for,
Right, yeah,
delivery and pickup. But it's one of those things
yeah,
that you have to be ready,
yeah.
because if we're not ready and things fall down, then we're a failure at it.
Right. A
And
lot of our guys will say stuff like, it's just, the couple roads here and there, they just need it plowed, or it's a couple of residents, and that's why some of the guys don't like doing it. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you're just doing residential, it's gonna be hard to make a living off of that. But working to find those contracts with at the commercial level is really where the money's at. And that makes sense then for you to have the equipment and to have the supplies and the team travel and go and do it. Just
right,
that's the better option.
right. And
Right.
again, the relationship piece of that, and it's not
Oh
just with
yeah.
snow. I mean, it's with really anything. I mean, the
Yeah.
relationship piece with it is, I constantly see everybody. I'm on all these forums, right?
Right.
The Facebooks and the Instagrams and all this about how awful
Right.
these large companies are, and they want you to do it for free. And
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them do, and I'm sure even the ones that we work for do.
Yep.
But when you build a relationship in any of the service industries that we're in, I mean, it's a give and take.
Right.
We love working for who we work for. We've got a good relationship. We've built it over time.
Right.
And if they ask us to do something, we do it. And if
Right.
I need something from them, they typically give it to us. So,
Right.
there's a lot of that negativity that I think holds a lot of that snow back, and doing national accounts for maintenance and anything that hurts a lot of
Right.
people.
No, so that you hit on a subject think is interesting, is the relationship piece. You've got marketing, you're doing marketing to generate leads, residential, commercial, those, all kinds of getting leads coming in from people who don't know you exist. But then you have relationships in place from contractors, I assume, and contracts, things like we talked about with the snow, that are going to keep your other jobs coming in as well. Some of your bigger jobs, I assume, come from there. How important is that ratio? And again, the size you're at is going to look different from somebody who's at the 1 million, 2 million mark. But where would you say what that ratio should be in terms of like jobs coming in through relationships versus jobs that are just coming in through your marketing, and how important is that?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd answer that for me.
See, that's why I'm like, you've been in at the game way longer, and you've been doing that. I have thoughts, but I wanted to hear from you to see if you had any opinion on that.
So, all right. So I'll tell you, we uh, we have never done advertising,
Okay.
never done lead generation. People never had a website. It was always word of mouth.
Right.
Okay. Um, Rarely, for the longest part, we would do some subcontract work for other companies around,
Hmm.
because I had relationships from the past, and guys that were in different markets that may not want to travel and sold
Right.
work.
Right.
They would sell it. They would call me and say, "Hey, do you want to go to Tennessee? Do you want to go to
Right.
wherever?"
Right.
And we would always do it. So for the longest part, I never had our name on the side of the truck, because some jobs we were going that, the
Right.
contractor's like, "Hey, I don't want
Yeah.
your name on the side if you're going
Exactly.
to do
Yeah, exactly.
Starbucks or a Circle
Yeah,
K or whatever you're doing for us," right? So we didn't even do that. So we had a great relationship with a lot of general contractors, and it was good. Everything was
mhm,
fine, but I wanted to kind of not be so have such a kind of small bubble
right,
of who we were working for, right?
right,
Um, 2018, 19, 20, 21, really, we got really stretched
sure,
on travel with just selling every bit of work we could get our hands on, right?
Mhm.
We wanted to grow, we wanted to scale, and
Mhm.
we just got stretched with working for people that we probably shouldn't have worked for. We probably should have done our homework a lot better on vetting some of these people
Right.
that
Right.
we were working for, right? So they would just say, "Hey, here's your job. Do you want to do it?" Yeah, absolutely. We go do it, and so we brought everything kind of way back in.
Okay.
I needed to kind of regroup a little bit, and we got back to a spot where I felt comfortable growing again. Things were in place. We were working for the right people, and I wanted to scale. I wanted to grow, and
Mhm.
so you build a website, which everybody needs.
Right. It's
I
just a
hired
great business card, digital business card.
great business card, right?
Right.
I hired a local out of Charlotte marketing firm that
Mhm.
does amazing work for us.
Mhm.
And, I follow all these things online about lead generation online.
Right.
And I tried it. And I will tell you, I got jobs out of it. I got good jobs. I got decent jobs. I got some great jobs. What I had to kind of get through was we were getting we were turning a lot of appointments,
Okay.
and there were leads that were coming through. But I tell people we're a commercial company,
Right.
not a residential company,
Right.
which, for the most part is true. The
Right.
residential work we do, we've got one custom home builder that we work for.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We don't do any track housing. We don't do any other kind of home builder work. It's all one custom builder that we've got a great relationship with.
Yeah.
Um, but we're just not built to go out and do a $10,000 patio or something. We used to
Sure.
do that. We used to turn them all day long, right?
Right.
And we just kind of built ourselves more on the commercial side of it. That's
Yeah.
what I liked doing. And there's no wrong or right to it. It's I just I lost after so many years of dealing with it. I just lost the patience of it. I think a lot of it had
Sure.
to honestly
You mean on the
be
residential side?
being on the residential side. So, we started this marketing deal. We started this lead generation, and we told them up front, we are a commercial based company. We got a few
Right.
commercial leads, but the majority of it was residential. When it's coming from Google and it's coming from
Yep.
Facebook ads, and so we learned a lot. And it was, there wasn't a relationship there, right? I was bidding against 5 other people, 10 other people. Um, it was a lot of people probably didn't know exactly what they were asking for or any type budget,
Gotcha. Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah, usually the residential are like, "Yeah, I don't have a budget. I'm calling you to help me figure out a budget."
right. So, while we did gain work, and I think those are very effective for some people,
Right.
they were good for us. They weren't great for us,
Sure.
right? And I've kind of gone back to just leveraging the relationships that I have and growing those relationships.
Yeah.
I wanted to expand my bubble a little bit
Right.
instead of having, you know, 10 or 12 really good people that we work for. I wanted to get to 20 or 25 people, right? And
Right.
not be so narrow.
Right.
Um, but our people keep us busy.
Yeah.
Um, so I have kind of made the deal now that I want to focus more on really who we know and probably spend more time
Yeah.
with them and spend more money marketing with them and grow that portfolio. you
Right.
know while I want more customers, what I really want is more jobs, because I'm pretty comfortable with the customers that we have,
Yeah.
so we don't have to get somebody new, we don't have to vet somebody new, and
Right.
um, I feel safe with who we work for,
Yeah.
and I think that's a pretty needed deal.
Yeah, that's great. I completely agree with the lead generation side because that's mainly what we do is a lot of lead generation type stuff. We do the Google, the Facebook, and some
Mhm.
other things as well. But you're right. We find that probably 80% of the lead flow is residential. Maybe 10, 15, 20% is going to be commercial. some places it fluctuates a little bit more or less, but that's common. And so that's what every contractor has to figure out is, am I okay doing residential, and am I set up to do residential? Do I want to do commercial? Because everyone will say I want commercial because we like the big commercial jobs, right? More profit there. But it's going
Yeah.
to require a different setup. It's going to require some other additional machines, staffing, and things like that. And so, did you start there? Like, did you just, when you were in the very beginning stages, like your first year of really getting this thing off the ground, did you start residential and move into commercial, or did you like know from day one, like we're going commercial for sure?
Oh no, 100% residential.
Okay.
100% residential,
Okay.
right? Um, and then we got in with one developer,
Okay.
and we started doing, uh, the parks and the street trees and all that kind of stuff for the developer. We started doing some retaining walls, but no, I mean, early on we were 150% residential.
Yeah.
You know,
I, I
I wished for commercial work.
Yeah, I feel like that's most. I feel like that's most companies are just kind of like, when we're first starting off, we're like, we just want any job, right? We just want
Yeah,
some money coming
right,
in. And we
right.
may have one machine. I've got a couple of guys I've talked to that were like beg, borrow, steal, rent, their first one or two pieces of equipment just to get
Yep.
some jobs under their belt. But now that the cash starts to come in, and if they're smart, they're reinvesting and they're looking at the next job and the next job. But eventually you start getting some of those bigger machines, stronger machines that could do other things, and then you start adding in those additional services and figure out which way you want to go. But kind of circling back on that relationship piece, that's where I just try to encourage even my own clients, like, if you want to get heavy into commercial, you have to do this with relationships. You cannot expect the lead generators to do all the heavy lifting to make you a commercial company. You got to get in with the contractors and the developers and the builders in order to really get into that. I mean, would you agree? Does that make sense?
So yeah, oh yeah, of course, right, of
Yeah.
course. But I think the other piece that some guys that don't get enough credit is you need to have that relationship with your sales rep, whether it's at
Yeah.
any of the rental stores, Caterpillar, John Deere, whatever, right? You have to have that relationship with a good sales
Right.
rep because, um, wherever you buy your material from, your gravel from, your wall block from, your anything, right? Those guys have their nose to the ground. Those
Yeah.
those those guys typically
Yeah.
know everything that's going on, right?
Yep.
So
And they're in
those guys,
relationships with like a dozen other guys, right? Like, that's why
yeah,
they know all that, because they're having these combos regularly with a bunch of other guys that are in the same industry.
right,
Yeah.
right. And something else that those guys, they're there to help you, right? They want you to get that job if you've got a relationship with them
Right.
because they know that then they're getting the work too,
Right.
right? Like, I mean, one of my best friends, it's a guy that I buy our stone from.
Mhm.
Um, you know, my Caterpillar rep is one of the best dudes around, and if
No,
I
I
have a
love it.
job, he knows he's getting the rental.
Right.
Like he
Right.
knows it's his gear that's sitting on a job.
Yeah.
It's not going to be John Deere or somebody else. Not
Yeah.
because really anybody, they're all good, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't. It's the relationship, right? I
Right.
mean, if he went to go work for John Deere, I'd probably have John Deere gear on my jobs, right? But I
Right.
don't. I've got
Yeah.
Caterpillar because I'm friends with him,
Right. That's the
and
relationship. Yeah.
it's the relationship. I'll be driving down the
Right.
road. It happened last week, and I got a call. I had no idea who this guy was, and he said, "Hey, I just got your number from your Caterpillar rep. I need a job. Looking for somebody to bid it." They were from out of town. That's kind of how the whole circle
Right.
works.
Right. I love that. That's great insight. I'm telling you, I think for the listeners, I hope y'all are listening to this, because that's funny right there. Thanks
Yeah,
for sharing that. So let me ask you in terms of some operation stuff, because I
sure.
especially guys who are much bigger and larger and have different crews at the commercial level, I think is so good to pick your brain, because you're operating at a level that's just really different than the guy who's got like three guys, right? So like, how do you manage your multiple crews and your jobs efficiently? How are you handling that? Is it you? Is it you have an operations director? Like, what does that look like for you to handle all that?
So if you listen to really anybody in the industry, any kind of financial people, anybody that really wants to kind of drive your business, right? They're going to say you need to be working on your business, not at your business, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
stay in the office. You shouldn't be in the field. You shouldn't do any of that. Well, I kind of knew for a while, and I've tried that, and I
Okay.
wasn't great at it
Okay.
by any means, right? I am much more effective, and it's really what kind of drives me that I like to do is to be in the field. We
Okay.
talked about the operations earlier and the
Yeah.
sales earlier, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what really that's what I love to do the best, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in the office is not me, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I've gotten just absolutely as lucky as I can that I have an amazing office manager.
Okay.
I've got an amazing marketing team, and I have an amazing kind of fractional CEO that I use for all of our financials.
Okay.
So
CEO or CFO?
the
Fractional
CFO,
CFO.
right? So he is couple 10 hours a week. I've got an office manager that really kind of runs
Yeah.
all of our books, does all of our sales, does everything. We have a call with our guy every Monday. We touch base on Fridays. If I
Okay.
need anything, if I need to bounce anything off of him, I've got him there. And so I kind of built the operation where I can do what I want to do and be in the field,
Yeah.
but I feel comfortable with who I have in the office doing what they're doing.
Yeah, that's great.
Right.
And I think
So
that's
totally.
what a CEO has to do, right? Like that's something I coach other marketing agencies as well, and we, same situation we have, just different industry. But I tell people all the time, when you first start, you are everything. You wear all the
Yeah.
hats. But and
Sure.
as you got to figure out sales pretty quick when you're growing a business. So because that's the only way the business is going to grow is you got to figure out sales. So that you start doing your sales, but now you have deliverables. You got things you've got to do for these people that you just sold, and you can quickly lose track of sales to focus over here on deliverables and
Yeah.
operations and so
Yeah.
forth and so on. And so really the goal is, as we're scaling and growing, is like figure out who needs to be added to the team to take stuff off of my list so that I can keep focusing on the things that I really need to be doing. And at certain stages it may just be sales, but then eventually it's also vision. For you actually being in the field and watching your leaders thrive and your teams thrive and make sure they're all doing what we've said we're going to do in these contracts and stuff. And so, yeah, but I love that too. It doesn't have to look the same way for everybody. It can. There may be guys who do love the office, but you're one of those guys. I love the field, and so
I
figuring
love
out
the
who can
field.
handle the office so that you can go out
Right.
in the field, or vice versa.
Right.
If you did love the office, then somebody else does need to go out in the field.
Yeah.
But
Well,
figuring
and everybody tells you, right? Surround yourself with really smart people.
right,
And I know that I can
right,
surround myself with really smart people, a
right,
hell of a lot smarter than me in
yes,
the office.
right,
Right. So I I don't want to surround myself with somebody yet in the field where I feel
right,
like I can do that. Right.
right,
Um, it's uh it's different. It's a little bit of a different mentality, but it's worked for us, right? And we're growing, and we'll put people in place when we need to.
right.
I've got great foremen. I've got great crew. Like I don't struggle with labor. I don't, and so I really wanted to focus on the inside office, making sure all those people are good,
Yeah,
and
that's great. Do you guys
it's
use
working out well.
any software or systems to stay organized and on schedule? Like, what are you guys
So
doing
I
on that?
Yeah, so we still run QuickBooks.
Okay.
We talk every year about changing platforms, going to do something different. There are
Okay.
some um I don't know if I want to say there's better ones out there than that because I don't really know, but I
My
see some others
CPA
out
thinks
there
there
that
is.
what's that?
I said my CPA thinks there is. He tells me there's better ones out there. He goes, but just
I,
everyone knows QuickBooks. I'm like, well,
but
I'm one of those guys.
everybody
That's
knows
all I
QuickBooks,
know.
right? So I think there's probably better ones out there,
Yeah.
especially for our industry. But it's like everybody wants to go to Milwaukee Tools right now, right? But you
Right.
got 7,000 DeWalt batteries, so
Yeah, that's right.
you know,
That's right.
how you gonna make that change, right? You just got to bite the bullet and do
Yeah,
it. We've
exactly.
never bit the bullet to do it,
Yeah.
but so we run our business on QuickBooks.
Cool.
I have a guy that works for us when we need him. That is actually in Ohio.
Okay.
That comes down and he helps us build all of our tracking spreadsheets and routes for snow and any kind of procedure type stuff that we want to get down. And he's fantastic, right?
Great.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's amazing what AI is doing.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you had anybody really good with AI on your podcast yet, but you've got to do it, because I was pushing it away and pushing it
Yep.
away. And I had
Yep.
somebody come in and kind of show it to me, and I'm I'm trying to use it every day.
Yep.
It's really amazing what it can do for, I say, people like me, like, I mean, that still wants to do a route for wherever somebody's going, or
Hmm.
figure out, you know, I used it today to figure out the volume of concrete in 50 holes,
Yes. I
different
love.
sizes,
Yes, I
right?
love that. Yes.
It spits it out
Yeah.
in 3 seconds,
Yeah.
literally 5 seconds. And,
Yes.
like, I can figure it out. I can do the math.
Yeah.
Like,
Took you a
I'm
while,
not
but you'll
smart
get
at
it.
a lot of things, but I can figure out the math. I
Yeah.
know how it all
Figure
works,
it out.
right? But why? I literally
Yes.
typed it in, and it's amazing what it can do.
Right.
So
Right. I mean,
I think there's,
I spent 2 hours working on AI stuff. So yes,
see, yeah,
I'm in deep in that, and it's something we're trying to work on so that we can roll out more for our clients as well. And how do we implement it in our marketing? How do we implement it in our sales? How do we implement it in our deliverables? So looking at each section of a business and saying, can we, as Blue Goat land leads, figure out how to utilize AI to make that part of their business stronger? It doesn't have to just be marketing. It could be other, just like what you said, just even doing some quick math or hard math on stuff in order for them to move faster and stronger and more efficiently. So we're working hard on that right now, and
it's really
it's probably going
amazing.
to be a department in our company. And I think in the next 5 to 10 years and I think that's going to be just like how every company has like an accounting department and an HR department. I do think most companies, let's say 10 plus years, are going to have AI departments. How do we utilize AI in all of the infrastructure and pieces that we're doing? Not that it replaces the humans, but how are we utilizing it in the four core elements of our business?
I know. And and I can see, you can tell, right, when you get an email and you've got a bullet pointed email out sent to you, right?
Mhm.
You can look at that email and
Yeah.
you can say, "Oh, AI did
Yeah.
that,"
AI
right?
did
Because
that.
it's got
Yeah.
that same format,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And it's amazing the number of them that we're getting from different people every single week,
Right.
right?
Right.
It used to be one, and I just thought it looked a little different to me, but I didn't figure it out, right? And then I knew
Mhm.
somebody that was using it, and I saw, and now it's one after the other. It's
Yeah.
like everybody's using it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you talk about something that I think is just going to change the way
Yes.
that I say our industry, and I don't want to sell it short, but I mean, I think
It's
our
gonna be
industry,
all.
that it'll make everybody's life so much
It
easier,
will, yeah,
right?
and right now it's at the front end, just like I mean, I'm preaching this. It sounds like I'm preaching to the choir with you, but I'm preaching it to everybody. But I'm like,
Yeah,
this is 1995. Like when the internet came out, and everybody was like, "What's this internet thing?" And I don't know how to
mhm,
use it. And now fast
right.
forward, we're all like, "Oh, look how it changed the world." AI right now, it's 1995 here in
Right.
2020.
It's like Google obsolete now,
Yes,
you know?
and that's one of the things that personally I've been working on my own company is, and we're starting to get a lot of great feedback, is how do we get found using AI search? Because that's one of the biggest things that's going to start impacting a lot of service-based companies is when
Okay.
people go looking, especially more on the residential side, but I do think even on the commercial, we've seen some stuff come in on the commercial side. But people just instead of pulling out Google, just going up, "Hey, chat, tell me the best, for us to be like, tell us the best land clearing marketing company out there or site work company out there that can generate leads," right? It's conversational chat instead
Yeah.
of keywords on Google. And now chat's sitting there and thinking through 1,000 recommendations and saying, why does it pick you? And there's got to be and so that's some of the stuff we've been working on, and we got a new client recently in Maui. He found us through ChatGPT, And we're all the way in Texas, and he's like, I just asked chat 3 different times, like, who should I hire for this? And they
Yeah.
kept recommending
Yeah.
you. And I was like, yay, the work we're putting in is starting to pay
It's
off.
working,
It's
right?
working.
Yeah.
And so every company, I think, is going to have to start thinking through from the marketing all the way down to the deliverables, like the stuff that we're doing internally. How do we utilize AI to make our jobs easier, faster, and better? Not just easy, but also better. That what we're doing is stronger than it was before AI, and we've got to
Right.
figure that out. I think we got to really think through that. So
And, we talk about relationships. Like, I mean, it all has to do with the people that we surround ourselves with,
right,
right? I mean, I want to be working with that person
right,
that is using AI, right?
right,
It's not a cheat code anymore, right?
right,
Like, it makes everything simpler, faster,
right,
and better.
right.
So, I think we're all going to get to a spot where if we're not using it, it's going to be going back to like using a typewriter versus a computer,
Yes, yes, yeah,
and I don't,
absolutely.
again, I mean, this whole thing's new to me over the last 90 days,
Yeah,
120 days, but like, I can't stop playing around with it and talking about it
right,
and seeing how it's going to
right.
hold up.
Right, and just like the internet, those who are early adopters and start really thinking through how to take advantage of it are the ones who are gonna succeed and get ahead.
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
if we're late adopters to this thing, you're way behind the curve, and your
Yeah.
competition are gonna jump way ahead of you, and they're gonna blow your mind with, "Whoa, you're doing what? How I didn't even realize that could even be done." It's like, "Where have you been?" So
No,
we've
I
gotta
agree.
be thinking through not just creating those little bulleted emails or social media posts, but like is there even some software that we could even create internally for our companies that will outperform everybody else we're competing against? Like I
Sure.
think at a higher level, that's where we've got to start thinking through is like and I was one of the things I was working on today was how do we reverse engineer? So we start with what would if I did understand fully how to do all AI, what would I love to fix, change, or replace in my company?
Yeah.
Like what goal do I have within my company? Okay. So if that's my goal, now how do I reverse engineer to get to that goal using AI? And if it doesn't exist yet, how do I find somebody who can help me actually build that or do that
Yeah.
or implement that?
Well, I'm sure it exists,
Yeah, probably.
right? Like, that's the crazy piece about it is I don't think any of us have figured out even how to get anywhere near that, and I don't think we've stumped it yet.
Right. But like one of the things I'm looking through is for our clients is qualified and disqualified leads. What makes a qualified lead, right? Even for you, there you at some level still ask that too, even with your relationships. Is this a qualified job for us that we want to work on or not? And then in your mind, you have what is qualified and what is disqualified.
Yeah. No,
And it,
you're right.
and if you're really thinking about it, it's more than just financial or the calendar. It could include a lot of other things like
Mm.
this type of company we like working with because of X, Y, and Z. And so, what if we could take those 50 data points with every single lead and say, this is truly what is qualified and not
Right.
qualified, and then have
Scope,
AI go through it?
size.
Yes,
Yeah.
scope,
Yeah.
cost, time, all of that.
Yep.
Like my crews who I've got on hand, the machines we've got, can we really do a good job with this or not? And so, thinking through beyond just whether the finance is there or not, or the calendar is there or not, and
I
letting
think it's
AI think
fantastic.
through it. I mean, come on,
No,
this is where it
I
can start
know.
to get insane down the road, and
I know.
nobody's even doing that yet. But just these ideas, like, hey, I've never thought about that before. I don't know how to get there, but there are people learning this stuff that I can say, here's my idea. I'll pay you to now engineer it, at an hourly, monthly, project based rate, and now we're going to roll this out and start using it in our company or start using it with our clients or whatever. So I think that yes, AI is the future for all of us in our industries, and we've just got to figure out how to get in front of it before we're the ones that are like the
Behind it,
100th company that's behind
waiting.
it figuring
Yeah.
it out.
No, I
Yeah,
know. Don't be narrow minded.
yeah, don't be. And what I one of the things I love about it is actually dream big. Like what would
Yeah.
again, what would you love to see different? Just dream big.
Yeah.
And maybe AI will solve that, maybe it won't. Maybe your dreams are way too big, but maybe you're going to hit a few that you're like, I actually think we can accomplish that. I think we could actually do that. What would that look like? And then start working backwards. I think that'd be a great fit for all of us.
Sure.
So Cool. Well, so like what trends other than AI, I know it's a big one, but what other trends are you seeing right now in like the land development site work stuff?
Um, I don't know if I'm seeing anything huge, anything different. Um, I think the regulations are starting to kind of tip up a little bit more than we're used to seeing.
Mhm.
I think a lot of the municipalities are starting to really kind of um, push the old COVID excuse
Yeah.
away,
Yep.
right? And we're starting to, we don't have the ability to probably skate past some things like we did when we didn't have inspectors out there and
Yeah.
with erosion control or clearing
Yeah.
or any of that, you know. So I think that's tightening up a little bit,
Mhm.
which is good, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's fine.
Yeah, there's pros and cons for sure.
There's pros and cons. So I mean, I see that, but I think I feel the numbers are starting to probably flatten out or come down a touch
Okay.
from where they were. I mean, even 2 years ago, we were still kind of naming prices on things, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but I think that's kind of leveling off a little bit.
Right.
So, I still think there's a big niche in that 2 to 10 acre type
Yeah.
site, right? That
Right.
a lot of the big guys don't want to touch anything under 15, 20, 30 acres.
Yep, for
Where
sure.
if you want to go in and you'll do a 2 acre site, or
Yeah.
and we do. I mean, we've got a little niche to go in there and do the smaller sites,
Right.
and it's a good piece for us. Um, but I still see that.
Right.
But overall, I don't see anything life altering out there right now.
Did you experience, and I'm asking this because I've heard a lot from a lot of guys this, that, right when COVID hit, shortly after COVID hit, there was this just influx of business. I mean, just the housing market couldn't keep up. So all the development was going on and
It was
clearing was going
crazy.
on. It was crazy, right? So guys were, just why do I even need marketing? Like I've got so much work from my word of mouth stuff. And then it
Right.
seems like the last year or 2 years, I've heard from a lot of guys, some guys who've been in business 10 plus years, who've never done marketing, all of a sudden now reaching out to talk marketing. And I ask, like, why all of a sudden you've got 10 years of never doing it? And they're like, the word of mouth is just kind of drying up. Now the housing market's gone the other way where it's upside down and there's not as much
Right.
development. Some of the developers and stuff who had the cash are like holding on to cash. I mean, are you seeing any of that
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
area as
Absolutely.
well? Okay.
You know, when during COVID, because a lot of the construction, that was like not free work
Hmm.
money wise, but that was you. There was no restrictions on that work, right? Like, I mean, we had letters in every truck saying that we were essential, right? And
Right.
my wife would always laugh at me, like,
She's like, you?
you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're a landscaper, like you
Hmm.
push dirt, like you're not
Hmm.
essential. I'm like, well, the government thinks I'm
Yeah. The
essential, and so
government
for
does.
once in my life, I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you that I'm essential, right?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
so we were essential workers back then. So it was like drinking from a fire hose. It was
Right.
fantastic.
Right.
I mean, we had everything we needed. We could use material as an excuse all
Mhm.
day, every day. So you could sell as much work as you absolutely wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't get to it, it was okay because you could just say, I can't get to material for another 3 weeks or another
And everyone's
8
like,
weeks.
okay. Everyone was like,
And
well,
they're like,
thanks. I get it.
all right,
Yeah.
So it was a free for all, right? We
Yeah.
don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
The only people that still use COVID as an excuse are hotels. I mean,
Mhm.
we stay in a lot of them traveling, and that's
Yeah.
that's they're still using that
Yeah.
COVID excuse. I'm like,
Oh,
man,
for
I
sure.
wish I could use that excuse,
Yeah. Oh, for
but
sure.
no, I don't see. I think we're back to, there is no normal, but we're back to normal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, for what I see.
Right. And that's what I've been telling guys is, especially the newer ones. I call them the newer ones, the ones in the last 5 years. I'll say, listen, you came in the golden era, this very
Hmm.
unique time in space that
Hmm.
everybody was booming. And that's probably why you even started, was because you bought a machine and all of a sudden everybody wanted it. But now I was like, what I've told these, because we've been doing this about 10 years. So I remember pre-COVID, I said, really, you guys think the sky is falling, but the truth is we're just back to normal. It's just what it
Yeah.
was pre-COVID, where you just
Yeah.
have to work hard and you have to build a name, a reputation, a brand, keep building those relationships just to get in front of those people. And it may include also the marketing piece, because maybe your word of mouth relationships are drying up. I don't know. But for some, yes, others, no. They have enough relationships, they'll probably be okay. But yeah, you got to figure out something else other than just sitting back hoping it all just lands in your lap, because those days are just kind of gone for now.
They are. And, the developer piece that you were just talking about, yes, that has totally changed.
Yeah.
Those guys that would just
Right.
build and build and build and throw money at it, those guys
Right.
are holding their money now.
Yeah.
So a lot of those relationships that, the developer's got to do something for the general contractor to have to do for then me to have to do, right? I mean, it
Right.
all goes downhill.
Yeah.
So there is that. But again, I think that's back to normal. I don't think that's,
Right.
I don't think we can say that, oh, wow, that they don't have any money or they're really kind of tightening things up. No, it's
Yeah.
just back to the way it was,
Yes, that's what,
you
and
know?
that's what I'm telling my guys too. I'm like, we have a number of clients who are hitting record numbers right now. So I tell these guys who think the sky is falling, listen, it's not. It's just back to normal. But now you just maybe have to do marketing. That's why we're having this
Right,
conversation.
right.
Is you've got to put yourself out there more than you ever have. But the work's
Yeah,
there, and there's more
yeah,
competition too. But
yeah,
from the COVID days, right? More guys came into it thinking it's going to be awesome forever. So you got more competition, a little bit less work going around, but it's not dead. It's just
right.
you just got to work harder at it to get
I
it
couldn't
going.
agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for HLC? Any new any expansion? Any new services? Like what's the future look like for you guys?
So we want to keep growing, right? We
Okay.
want to scale. We want to get bigger.
Hmm.
I feel like we've got people in place to do it. I'm comfortable doing it. I feel good about the economy.
Okay.
I've got a lot of really smart people that we work for. And I ask all the time, you guys got work? You still bidding work? You feel good about work? And
Doing a pulse
um,
check, right? You're like temperature
what's the
check.
pulse,
Yeah.
right? And everything's been positive.
Yeah.
We hear the negative out there, and we are truly blessed to be in North Carolina, South Carolina, right? Like
Mhm.
I think where we are, where you are near Austin, right? But you're near Austin,
Right.
right? In
Yeah.
that
Right
area.
outside
Yep.
Austin.
Like I mean, um, we are kind of in that bubble of
Right.
we can keep rolling, right?
Right.
I think there's several markets out there, right? I think you got
Right.
like, you know, um, Austin, Charlotte, Nashville,
Yeah.
um, Gulf Coast, right down there, that Mobile kind of bubble.
Hmm.
I mean, I think we're somewhat insulated from some bad.
Right.
Even when things were bad back in the day, they weren't awful where we are. They were
Right.
bad. They weren't, you know.
Right.
So I feel comfortable in the market that we're in. I feel comfortable to grow. Um, and we're trying to build ourselves for that, right? We've
Yeah.
got the equipment, we've got the trucks, we've got the people. I've surrounded myself with some really amazing people inside in the office
Awesome.
to be able to help me. So I think our biggest deal is to just keep pushing with what we have, try
Okay.
to sell a few new customers, focus on the site work, on the clearing, on the grading, get
Yeah.
better at it every day.
Right.
There are some things that we're really good at that we've done for a long time, and we'll continue to push on that and just continue to build relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
I
love that.
cannot stress how important that has been for us
Yeah.
and for me, and I think nobody should take that for granted, right? Like
Yeah. That's good.
there's going to be good relationships, there's going to be bad relationships, but they're all
Right.
a relationship, and I think you need to fight for all of them.
Right.
Figure out where to cut bait when you need to cut bait, but if there's somebody out there that takes care of you, you better take care of them and
Yeah, you nurture that
don't
relationship. Yeah, you're not just
nurture
out there
that
going, "Hey, well, you
relationship.
got the next job for me? You got that next," like, "No,
That's
no,
right.
what are you
I
doing,
mean,
though, to make that positive impact in his life in that
yes.
relationship?" Yeah, for sure.
Don't complain about things. I mean, there's going to be some good ones and some bad ones, and
Yeah.
you're going to have to take a couple bad ones every once in a
Yep.
while, but
Yep.
know that you have to. The relationship piece is the most important thing to the business that we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
I
great,
mean,
especially when
it's
you're
that
just
simple.
starting off. Yeah, get some jobs, find some jobs, get some leads coming in, whatever, but be on the lookout for those relationships. I feel like that's something we've hammered today, which I think is super helpful for everybody listening is what are you doing for those relationships? How are you looking for those relationships? Who are you
Right.
building relationships with? And be thinking about that on a regular
Right.
basis. And that's how you'll scale and grow and not just do, from the next residential job to the next residential job. That's how you're gonna get into the commercial side, and that's how you're gonna scale the commercial side, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. And don't, I mean, and just because you drop a Yeti cup off with your
Yeah.
logo engraved on it,
Yeah.
at his office doesn't mean you've got a relationship, right?
Nope.
Like, I mean, it takes a lot,
Yeah.
and you've got to really dig in. And
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
absolutely.
I will be the first one to tell anybody, like, we've screwed a lot of them up,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
it happens, and it's all on me. It's 100% on me, but you gotta dig in there and try to fix it and not do it again.
Yeah.
And it's the key to our business is
Mm.
having good relationships with
Yeah.
our partners.
I love that. Well, we got a few minutes left. I got like 2 more questions because this has been really good, and I really want to continue to add value to the combo. But one of the things I think would be great to ask is, 20 years of doing this now, and the level that you're at, you go all the way back to Dave 20 years ago, day one. What advice are you giving yourself?
Yeah, to go find somebody that's got a corporate job and go work 45 hours a week and
Cut it
come
off at
come home
6 o'clock.
come home on Friday and put your phone on the counter and pick it back up Monday afternoon, Monday morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I hear you on
I
that.
I will tell you, we've had some really big ups, we've had some really big downs,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Oh, that's
Like,
awesome.
like being I'm glad I did what I did.
Mhm.
I wish early on I probably not probably. I wish early on I surrounded myself with smarter and better people. Not that I didn't have dumb people, I didn't have them.
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't have anybody, right? It was
Yeah.
just me early on, right?
Yeah.
And I wish earlier on I would have bit the bullet and figured out a way to hire somebody smarter than me
Yeah.
and hire somebody that can do what I knew I wasn't good at, right?
Right.
The office piece of it, the accounting piece of it, all of that side of it that I didn't like doing.
Yeah.
I wish earlier on I would have had somebody and paid them well to help me grow.
That's
So that's
good.
my probably biggest downfall that I've learned over the years that, I would probably preach to somebody that if you were
Oh,
going to
yeah.
start this, you know, make sure you have a smart person with you.
Yeah.
I just
I
didn't have
love
anybody.
Yeah, that's a couple other our guests have said the coaching piece. Even if
Yeah,
that, just
absolutely.
having somebody that knows that's a further ahead who can really coach you and guide you on those next steps and those
Yep.
different seasons and stuff. Because you're
Yep.
right, the seasons you get some really great seasons in business, and then there's some really hard ones, and th-
Yeah, and
and it can even include like hiring and firing can be hard in
yep,
great seasons and bad seasons.
yep.
So
And the coaching doesn't have to be from our industry.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's
I think
business.
a lot of people are worried. I've got to find somebody they're not going to want. You don't. I mean, at the end of the day, the accounting piece, the running the business piece is a widget, right? I mean,
Right,
everybody's going to have a little changes, but
right,
I mean, find a coach that has owned their own business,
right.
that manages people, that manages payroll, that knows the importance of having a great banker and a great
Yeah,
accountant and great attorney, right?
right,
Like, find those people. That
right.
that you don't need a guy that knows how to knock trees over.
Right.
We can
You
operate
got that
that.
figured out. You don't need that part.
That's easy.
But someone who knows like when it's time to hire and what kind of person to
Yeah,
hire, what position to hire, or someone who knows the financial side, or someone that knows just leadership dynamics and stuff. So yeah,
right.
finding that person who can really help you through those pieces. And then, like you said, and this is something that I've experienced, and I wish, it's kind of what I would have told my younger self is find those people, like you said, who are smarter than you, but I would have said do it sooner. Like I waited
Yeah,
too long to start doing that, and now I regret it because I've got some fantastic people around me that are so good at what they do, and they're skilled and gifted at things that I'm not as skilled and gifted at. I remember my very first hire I brought on to help operations, and I was like, I'm just overwhelmed with operations. And I remember coaching her and teaching her some stuff, and within 3 months she passed me up. Like she was doing stuff internally that I was like, why don't
yeah,
you teach me now? This is amazing.
yeah.
The stuff you're putting together is way beyond what I was thinking, and you're already excelling way beyond that wherever I was able to take it. And I love that. Like surround yourself with really smart people who are really good at it too, and help you take it to the
Absolutely.
next level. Right.
Yep,
All right.
for
One
sure.
last question before we call it a night. You cool with that?
What you got?
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me the craziest, wildest client experience job site you've had. 20 years. I know you got a few.
There's one that I can't tell that I don't know if we're allowed to speak of yet. Um, we've had, I don't know if there's one in particular,
Yeah.
right? But we have had some really, really crazy residential
Oh, really?
home.
Okay.
We have had, I mean, we've had homeowners come out with levels on travertine tile and they can slide the level 30 feet across the
No.
travertine patio, and it was perfect and never jumped and said that it wasn't level. And
Get out of here.
that, I mean, we've just had some crazy homeowners, right? And I think that was kind of one of the bigger thing that has pushed me away
Yeah, to the commercial side, right?
to the commercial
Yeah.
side. Um, I, I don't know. I mean, I think every job's got its kind of
Right.
weird pieces to it.
Sure.
Um, but anything like I don't, I don't have any good stories of.
I mean, the ones you could share, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I think I no, I don't have anything. I don't have
Oh,
anything good
yeah,
to
totally
say.
fine. Well, you've
I
shared
don't
a
know.
bunch of nuggets today that have just, truth and wisdom that I think are, gonna be I think when people hear this episode are gonna be like, "That was a great episode. We want more guests like this." So,
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
yeah, your years of experience of doing this is really it shows, and you seem to be a strong leader, and you're a good teacher too. Like you're able to articulate it in a way that's really helpful and simple enough to go, yeah, I need to do that. That sounds good. Let's start thinking through that. So, thank you for being on today, and I appreciate your time and you joining us, and look forward to launching this episode. So, everybody else out there who's listening, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you want to follow along on our podcast channels, Spotify, Apple, some other ones as well. And we're going to continue to just give resources like this and others to everybody in the dirt world. So thanks for joining us today. Dave, thank you again for being a guest, and we appreciate your time.
Josh, thank you. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for doing it for the industry. I really appreciate it.
You got it. All right, guys, take care.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.